The name Jean-Claude Van Damme used to make waves in the Hollywood movie business, thanks to his great martial arts skills and good looks. But behind that halo are deaths, being alone, and an ending that makes a lot of people think. From a big draw, what went wrong with his job and life that made them fall apart? Let's look at the good and bad times of the Belgian steel soldier in this movie. Please leave a comment after watching. Childhood and a strong desire to learn martial arts. This person was born on October 18, 1960, in St. Agatha Berchem, a neighborhood of Brussels, Belgium. He is better known by his stage name, Jean-Claude Van Damme. His father, Eugene van Varenberg, was an accountant and florist, and his mother, Eliana, was a housewife. He grew up in a middle-class home. Even though his family wasn't rich, they always told their kids to follow their dreams. His father, who was interested in martial arts, taught Jean-Claude karate when he was 10 years old. This was the start of the small, shy boy's journey into martial arts, which he did with determination and a burning desire. Jean-Claude started to take karate seriously after getting help from Claude Gitz, a karate master in Belgium. He trained hard and consistently, so he quickly became a great martial artist. When Jean-Claude was 16, in 1976, he started participating in semi-professional and professional karate tournaments. In 1979, he won the European Karate Championship in the under-78 kg group. That was the high point of his karate career. This was a huge win that shows how talented he is and how hard he worked. Jean-Claude didn't just stop at karate though. He also learned and trained in other martial arts, like judo, kickboxing, and Muay Thai. Aside from martial arts, he also learned ballet for 5 years, which not many people know. He was good at body control and martial arts, but when he mixed them on screen, it made his style stand out. It was Jean-Claude who said that dance is the hardest art form. You can handle any sport if you can handle dancing. Jean-Claude knew that martial arts alone would not help him reach his big dream of becoming a movie star, even though he did well in martial arts events. He moved to the United States in 1982 to try to make it in Hollywood after being inspired by action movies by legendary actors like Bruce Lee and Chuck Norris. When he got to Los Angeles, he didn't have much money, didn't know anyone, and couldn't speak English. Jean-Claude did odd jobs like being a waiter, a taxi driver, and a fitness teacher to make money. At events where he wanted to meet movie producers, he even worked as a pizza delivery guy and a red carpet worker. One of the most interesting things about Jean-Claude's search for work is how he kept knocking on studio doors until directors and producers agreed to let him try out. He met Menahem Golan, one of the founders of Cannon Films, on the street and did a 360-degree kick right in front of him. This left a big impact on Jean-Claude, who then went on to act in bad action movies. His job went through the roof after that. Can sticking with something and having a strong desire help people get what they want in life? That's clear from the story of Jean-Claude Van Damme's youth and hard journey. With the 1988 movie Bloodsport, which was a big hit in Hollywood, Jean-Claude Van Damme became an official world action star. The movie, which was based on the real life of boxer Frank Dux, was a big success, making over $65 million around the world, even though it only cost $1.5 million to make. Bloodsport not only showed off Van Damme's great martial arts skills, but it also showed how he moves on screen. Strong, beautiful, and emotional. After Bloodsport became a hit, Van Damme continued to get attention with Kickboxer, 1989, Lionheart, 1990, and Double Impact, 1991. He became famous all over the world in movies, like Universal Soldier 1992, in which he fought Dolph Lundgren. Along with making more than $100 million, the movie was a big hit with critics and audiences alike, thanks to its interesting story and exciting action scenes. All of these movies made the most of Van Damme's great martial arts skills and helped him cement his place as one of the biggest action stars of the 1990s. Not only did Jean-Claude Van Damme have great martial arts skills, but he also had a unique dance style. Your own name. He wasn't afraid to do his risky action scenes on screen, which made them seem more real and interesting. He also had a special charm about him, because he was good-looking, with toned arms and a friendly smile. Van Damme was not only a good fighter, but he also showed how his personalities felt. Bruce Lee and Sylvester Stallone, who are known for having a strong but emotionless style. It's easy to remember Van Damme's split-kick move, which has been used in many movies. In addition to showing how versatile he is, it has become a famous picture of him in pop culture. Jean-Claude Van Damme was one of the best-paid action stars in Hollywood when he was at the top of his game. In the 1990s, that was a lot of money, between $3 million and $8 million per movie. He once said that the most money he ever made was $8 million for Street Fighter IV. Van Damme quickly became a worldwide star after a string of hit movies. When the 1990s came around, his name was linked to martial arts action movies. People in the US loved his movies, and they also made waves in other countries, like Asia and Europe. Critics used to call Jean-Claude Van Damme the muscles from Brussels, which stressed where he was from and what made him unique. During this time, he had a career that shows how an actor can get ahead in Hollywood and around the world despite language and cultural hurdles. But was there a rough road behind the scenes, with a career that was going downhill and shocking personal scandals? What made him fall from the heights of Hollywood to the pits of trouble? And did the man of spinning kicks' toughness help him get through tough times? Loss of popularity and private issues. The 1980s and early 1990s were Jean-Claude Van Damme's best years, but by the mid-1990s, his business was having a hard time. The 1994 movie Street Fighter, which everyone was looking forward to, was a huge disappointment with critics. It made around $99 million worldwide, though. A lot of critics didn't like Van Damme's acting or the script. In the years that followed, Van Damme kept having a string of bad luck. Was panned for what it showed and only made $11 million in the US, a lot less than the $30 million it cost to make. Knock Off, an action movie set in Hong Kong in 1998, continued the string of failures by only making $10 million around the world. Hollywood lost faith in Van Damme's ability to get people to watch his movies. Movies straight to DVD. A star who made millions of dollars per movie saw a clear drop in her business after this. Personal problems got worse at the same time as the downturn. Van Damme said he started using cocaine in the 1990s and became hooked on it very quickly. He admitted that this habit cost him more than $10,000 a week and had a big impact on his personal life and work. In 1996, he was caught driving drunk in California. This not only hurt Van Damme's reputation, but it also made it hard for directors to trust him. Jean-Claude Van Damme has been married 5 times, and each one ended badly. Bodybuilder Gladys Portuguese was one of them. They were married twice, but their relationship had a lot of problems because of his bad lifestyle. His relationships with his other wives, like Cynthia Derderian and Darcy LaPierre, also ended in fights and stress. Gladys Portugues once said that Van Damme had bipolar disorder, which made his moods change a lot and made it hard for him to keep relationships going. In an interview, Van Damme himself said this, and he said that realizing he was sick was the first thing that helped him get better in his personal life. Van Damme has been attacked a lot for not being professional at work. Some people say that he is always late to work and doesn't follow the plan. Some leaders and co-workers have said that he is hard to work with and sometimes makes unreasonable demands. As an example, while shooting Street Fighter, director Stephen E. D'Souza slammed Van Damme in public for going to parties. Because of that, he couldn't finish any parts on time. These actions not only hurt Van Damme's image, but they also made it risky for producers to hire him. Van Damme has also been blamed for getting into arguments with co-workers because of the way he acts at work. People who have worked with Van Damme say that he is often cocky and hard to get along with. These disagreements not only made it harder for him to work with others, but they also hurt his reputation in the public eye and in the movie business. Jean-Claude Van Damme was in a long-lasting crisis because of scandals in his personal life and a drop in his work. He once said that there were times when he had no hope and didn't know how to get himself going again. But it was these hard times that made him think about his life and how he could make changes. After a long time of problems in his personal and professional life, Jean-Claude Van Damme tried to bring attention back to himself by working on more personal and one-of-a-kind projects. Was this good for his dying life, though? Reviving his career. One of the best parts was the documentary GCVD 2008, in which he bravely told the story of his life, from the high points to the low points of his career. Critics loved how the movie broke the rules of the usual action genre, and how well Van Damme played the lead part, which was a version of himself, which was very impressive. People thought that the work changed the star's image and helped him regain some of the respect he had lost in the movie business. Action stars like Sylvester Stallone, Bruce Willis, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and Jason Statham worked together on the movie 2012. The main bad guy in the movie was played by Van Damme, and his performance made people remember when he was one of the biggest stars in action movies. The movie did very well at the box office and brought Van Damme new attention from both moviegoers and filmmakers. In addition to working on projects in Hollywood, Jean-Claude Van Damme also put money into projects in his home country. Not only did he act in a number of movies and TV shows in Belgium, but he also produced some of them. These projects not only let Van Damme show what he could do, but they also helped him connect with his home audience in a deeper way. Van Damme also talked about his life in talks, on reality TV shows, and on social media. Many people were moved by his honest stories about how he went from being a Belgian boy with a Hollywood dream to making mistakes, failing, and finally trying to stand up for himself. He said, "I'm not perfect, but I try to change all the time. And go ahead." Jean-Claude Van Damme kept appearing in action movies that were right for his age and level of skill, even though he couldn't get back to the top like he used to. Besides that, he used his fame to talk to younger people and stress how important it is to never give up on your dreams. In his later years, Jean-Claude Van Damme had a number of major health issues, starting with mental health issues. Could he get through it? Problems with health and getting older. He was diagnosed with bipolar disorder in the late 2000s. This is a mental illness that causes extreme mood swings, from serious depression to extreme mania. He had a harder time controlling his feelings and actions because of the disease, which made his personal and work life a mess. His bipolar illness not only made him have mental problems, but it also made it hard for him to work and interact with other people. In the worst parts of his illness, Van Damme said he was very tired and felt like he had no control. He also said he sometimes lost his temper and became anxious. His career went from a quick rise to a sad fall, which may be partly due to this illness. On top of bipolar illness, they also abused drugs and alcohol. When he was at the top of his game in the 1990s, he couldn't stop using cocaine and other drugs. Not only did this hurt his health, but it also stopped his job from moving forward. Van Damme said he bought drugs for more than $10,000 a week. Not only were those years a dark time in his life, they were also very bad for his health. Long-term use of stimulants had a big impact on his heart problems, nervous system, and general health. He even said in later talks that he thought he had lost his health and freedom forever and would never get them back. Van Damme chose to start getting better after years of having health problems. He started going to therapy and actively looked for help from family, friends, and experts. Even though Van Damme's health could not fully recover, he was able to live and work by finding balance and accepting what was true. In the last few years of his life, he worked hard to fix his health problems and stop abusing drugs. This helped him rebuild his reputation, at least in the eyes of his friends and co-workers. Van Damme kept fighting for a better life, and he taught and inspired people who were going through the same things. After a long time of problems in his personal and professional life, Jean-Claude Van Damme has decided to live a quiet life and doesn't talk to the media very often. In recent years, he doesn't seem to have been as active in Hollywood. He doesn't seem to be at as many events or working on public projects as he used to. This might be because he wants to find peace and keep his private life from being too much of a distraction from the public eye. It's more important to Van Damme to spend time with his family and friends than to be in movies or advertising campaigns. In the past, he worked hard to fix relationships that were broken, especially ones with family members. The late Jean-Claude Van Damme had many failed marriages and a tense connection with his children. He has since tried to make his family stronger. He talked about how his life has been stopped many times by personal and work issues, but he knows that his family is the most important thing he needs to take care of and grow. As part of these attempts, he spends more time with his family and children. In recent comments, Van Damme said that he is very proud of his children and wants to show them how to deal with and get through hard times in life. He doesn't talk much about his personal life. Over the years, he has also been involved in many community events, working on charity projects and programs that aim to inspire young people. Van Damme also keeps in touch with close friends and past co-workers, even though he doesn't show up in the news as much these days. Apparently, he still gets together with his old co-stars on a regular basis to thank them for helping him in his work. But Jean-Claude Van Damme still has problems in his personal life, mostly with his health and mental health. The fact that he doesn't show up in public is another way for him to avoid social pressure and give his body and mind time to heal. To find peace of mind, he has learned to accept and enjoy the little things in life. There may not be as much excitement in Jean-Claude Van Damme's life now as there was in the past, but he is free and always working to stay stable. Even after everything he's been through, he's still looked up to as a model of strength. People respect both his amazing action moves and his ability to get back up. Every time you fall, you know the truth. Jean-Claude Van Damme is a famous actor and action movie star, especially in martial arts movies. Let's talk about what he left behind. History and power. He started his work in the 1980s and 1990s and was one of the first people to bring martial arts to TV. At a time when most action artists didn't have a strong background in martial arts, Van Damme's ability to show martial arts moves was a breath of fresh air and helped make action scenes more impressive and realistic. The artistic martial arts and high kicks he showed in movies like Bloodsport, Kickboxer, and Universal Soldier made his name an important part of the Hollywood movie business. Jean-Claude Van Damme is also known for helping to make martial arts action movies an important part of Hollywood movies. For many years, he was one of the first people to show martial arts as more than just action scenes. Before Van Damme, action stars mostly did simple action scenes. He paved the way for high-level martial arts techniques to be used in big commercial movies, which gave fans a new experience. Van Damme had an impact not just at the height of his career, but still today. Action stars today, like Scott Adkins, Tony Jaa, and Jason Statham, all look up to Van Damme as a role model. Not only did these generations of actors learn martial arts from him, they also copied his playing style and did the action scenes that made him famous. One of the first actors to show that they could do all kinds of action scenes, from dangerous high kicks to intense fights, without the need for stunt doubles or a lot of special effects. He had such an impact that martial arts action movies in many countries were changed by him. Van Damme inspired people, especially in China, to make martial arts action movies in the way of Hollywood movies. He also did a lot to promote martial arts and combat sports around the world. This made a lot of people, especially teens, fall in love with sports like karate, kickboxing, and Muay Thai. Fans will always remember Jean-Claude Van Damme, even though he had his ups and downs and wasn't always at the top of his game. His impact on pop culture was huge, and he is known as an icon in both action movies and pop culture in general. People still love and watch his movies all the time, especially the old ones like Bloodsport, Kickboxer, and Time Cop, because of the interesting scenes, great martial arts, and strong character he played. Even though Jean-Claude Van Damme has had a lot of problems in his personal and work life, his image has not changed. Fans still love him and praise him as Hollywood's original action star who gave people all over the world hours of great fun. With all of these achievements, Van Damme is still a hero to action movie fans and an important part of Hollywood movies, no matter how much time goes by. Which Jean-Claude Van Damme movie did you like best? What did his strong spitting kicks or amazing action scenes make you think of? Please tell us what you think in the space below. Please get in touch with us. Also, Don't forget to like the video and follow the station to get more cool videos. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next film.